And welcome back once again, everybody, to the PS2, PS1 collection videos. This is part 3, focusing on the PS2 games. Now, to start things off, I have a couple of games that do not have a case. This first one, I was a big fan of the Galarian's Rion. I can pull that up more. CG movie that came out quite a while ago now, but haven't been able to get my hands on the original Galarian's game for the PlayStation, but I did manage to find this Galarian's Ash. No case or anything, so I'm kind of bummed about that. Eventually I'll get a full copy of it. And next up we have, obviously not a game here, but this is actually a little promotional deal that they sent out to some of the PlayStation Underground members at the time. It's a, well, full poster setup, pretty much a full, not full, it's a demo of the game Rogue Galaxy. It's kind of interesting how they sent this. It also came with a little pirate flag, which I have pinned up in my room on the side of my entertainment center. And next up we have, in a PS3 case, Hitman 2. Blue Starry Eyes bought me this because she thought I actually had the first Hitman and wanted to add to the collection there. And also she bought Metal Gear Solid 2. This is actually the only Metal Gear Solid game that I own now. But yeah, she meant well, and yeah, they added to the collection, so no complaints. And I have two other demo discs for probably two of the biggest games on the PS2, Shadow of the Colossus and God of War. Honestly, I was not too impressed with either one of these demos, and when the games came out, I'm still not impressed, even though so many people like them. Shadow of the Colossus is too slow and clunky for me, and God of War is just a... God, I'm gonna get probably some hate for this one, but it's just a hack and slash. I don't really care, I have too many games like that as it is, so no appeal to me. Next up, another anime that I really love is the Dot Hack series. Unfortunately, I got Dot Hack Infection here, part 1, and yeah, I actually did end up beating this. However, I could not find the second part at the time, so I had no reason to buy 3 and 4. And even today, looking at some of the used game stores, I find plenty of this one, I find plenty of 3 and 4, but I can't find number 2. And I don't play my PS2 enough to go ahead and order it online or anything, so fuck it. Likewise with Dot Hack GU, and this one I actually have the special edition for. However, this was kind of late in the PS2's life cycle, so yeah. I don't think I even actually beat this one, but obviously I didn't pick up Volume 2 and 3. And funny thing about this is, likewise with the first one I just showed, I cannot find Volume 2 anywhere for used game places. I find Volume 1 and 3. I have no idea if people just kept holding on to Volume 2 or they just didn't make enough. Next up we have one of my beloved music games from back in the day. Before Guitar Hero was made, the company Harmonix, who is now making Rock Band, actually made a couple of games called Frequency and Amplitude. Amplitude is a sequel. Awesome music game where you pretty much fly a ship through this little tubed track and you blast all these little notes to create the music. If you've never played this game, it's fucking awesome, and this one actually had online play. This is actually one of the few games with online play that the PS2 seemed to redeem itself on, because I guess only people with good connections actually enjoyed this game. Also, a lot of awesome music on there that they've brought back for Rock Band and stuff, since they're bands that worked at Harmonix and people who signed good contracts with them, I guess. Then we have DDR Max 2. I'll admit it, I played DDR games. I actually have the dance mat somewhere put up. However, I just didn't dig it out in time for this. Next up, we have a game that Blue Starry Eyes bought, and that is Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus. I actually had this game pre-ordered, heard a lot of bad stuff, and canceled it. Obviously, as you can tell here, she got it pretty cheaply, and she actually bought it when she worked for GameStop, so she got a really good deal. Next two games are Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 and 3. And no, I did not get the collector's edition for this one that came with the, I think it was advertised as a little Dragon Ball replica, but it was actually just like half of one or something. I don't know, it was really disappointing. I'm just gonna say that. However, the fighting games are awesome. Next up we have Fantavision. For all the nerds and geeks out there who want to enjoy the 4th of July all year round, or even on the 4th of July without going outside. For those of you who play on the Xbox Live Arcade, think of Boom Boom Rocket. That's probably the closest I can get to that. Then we have to go to with Blue Starry Eyes RPG Maker. I bought Fighter Maker 2 way back in the day when it came out. I don't know why I said back in the day. It just seems really dated now. But this was pretty fun to play at the time. Kind of annoying at the same time. And it's not like you could export this or anything, but it's a good way to get the feel for making games, I guess, at that time. Then we have Final Fantasy X. This is actually my most favorite Final Fantasy of them all. Honestly, I would play Blitzball if they like spun it off into its own game all the time. That would be awesome. Also, the music for this game, especially the opening theme, Otherworld, is fucking awesome, and my voice feels like it's going out there. Anyway, loved this game. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Everyone who hates it, oh well, can't change your mind, but I loved it. And then we get to, as you saw, I had Final Fantasy XI for the PC. I have a little demo for it for the 360 that I played for beta, but I never played it on PS2 because I kind of got sick of it. So next up we have Final Fantasy XII Collector's Edition, and I have to say this is probably one of the biggest pieces of shit. I don't know if it's just me, but I hated the licensing system in this game, and yeah. Nice little setup. I mean, the Collector's Edition is very nice. If I had to rate the game and stuff, the Collector's Edition was definitely one of the best that I have seen, especially at the time, but the game itself just didn't do anything for me. Anyway, I need to get a drink. Next up, I have Frequency. I was talking about this back with Amplitude. This is actually the first game. And it has a lot of songs from, like, No Doubt, Crystal Method, DJ Qbert, Fear Factory. It even has stuff from, oh god, I almost forgot their name. Freeze Pop, if you ever heard of them. They're a band where most of their members work for Harmonix. They make a lot of little weird games with synth and keyboards. Next up, just to speed these two in there, I have Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec and Gran Turismo 4. I'm not talking shit about this game, but obviously when Forza came out for the Xbox, it kicked this game's ass. I don't care how realistic these games are supposed to be, they seem like a joke when it comes to speed. Or maybe it's just me, they do not look that lifelike to me, even when I'm comparing them. But whatever. I'm going to stop right there for this portion of the video and come back with part 4 after I get a drink and clear up my speech a little bit here. Sorry for you guys having to deal with this. See you all in part 4.